So today we're going to be continuing to look at the alternate future of the United States. Last time we looked at two possible endings to the 2024 election and the aftermath of each one. Now the timelines are basically one, except in one timeline, Oakland no longer exists. So the first thing that happens is something that's been building up a while. So the Dakotas have actually been working on a new city on their border, right around there. I'm about to tell you why that is. They're working on their new capital. That's right, the Dakotas are going to unite. They realize they're basically the same state. For simplicity's sake, let's just call this new city Dakota City. And now for the first war. So now that Texas is no longer limited by the United States, they want Oklahoma's panhandle. But Oklahoma's had it so long that they just refuse. Eventually, Texan troops launch an invasion into the panhandle. They were prepared for this. They were fully prepared for a war. They've wanted a war for so long. Oklahoma tries to push into Texas, but they get pushed back as they push deeper into Oklahoman territory on two sides. They encircle a large portion of Oklahoma. All the soldiers get captured. After a couple weeks, we have Oklahoma surrendering to the Texan army. So in the peace treaty, we have the full annexation of Oklahoma. Some surrounding states form an alliance called the Anti Texas Coalition. The ATC is formed because New Mexico, Colorado, Kansas, and Missouri are all scared of this new, more powerful Texas. A bunch of southern states, in the meantime, realize they're weak on their own, and so they form their own alliance. And they call this alliance the Confederate States of America. Yeah, the Confederacy is basically back. So, with these two alliances, Texas is being held at bay for now. Because let's not forget, they also border Mexico, which would not hesitate to take back their old lands. In other news, Nevada has joined NATO. You know who's scared of New York right now? Which is another NATO member? Massachusetts. So they decide to start their own alliance with the rest of New England. And to keep it simple, Let's just call this the New England Pact. Now let's look over at Arkansas and Nebraska. Arkansas and Missouri, sorry. They have signed a deal between their two alliances to contain Texas. And guess what? Mexico has also signed the agreement. And as part of that agreement, Missouri has ceded this piece of land to Arkansas. Get rid of that border. Accidentally got rid of too much border. And if we look over to Maryland and Virginia, they have signed a treaty to rebuild Washington, D.C. in both timelines. And in the Republican timeline, California is starting to rebuild Oakland. North Carolina is looking to expand, and they have chosen South Carolina as their first victim. So they have declared war on South Carolina. If you think this is going to go any different from Texas versus Oklahoma, you would be wrong. So North Carolina has begun to move in on all sides of the border, really ramping up their offense until after like a week, South Carolina surrenders. So in the peace treaty, we have a united Carolina under the North, and that's it. Of course, fearing for their own existence, Tennessee goes ahead and joins the Confederate Alliance. Tensions have been rising throughout the former nation. Tensions have also been rising between Michigan and Ohio over the Toledo Strip, to the point where the two of them have started their own alliances. So now let's see who would join the Midwest Alliance. We got Illinois, we got Minnesota, Iowa, and now let's see who joined the Midwest Pact. Indiana and Wisconsin. You can also expect Nebraska to join in, and Dakota. Uh oh. Virginia wants to take back their old lands. Oops. West Virginia is the first victim. Maryland will not interfere because this is not their war. Virginia will begin to cut off this West Virginian panhandle. This is largely successful. But West Virginia was prepared. They've encircled a much larger part of the enemy country. Now they're swarming in. Are very careful not to attack Tennessee. They capture every soldier while Virginia retreats to try to recapture their land. Carolina gives them permission. Yeah, Carolina gives West Virginia permission to attack from their border. But Virginia is prepared, and they capture every unit and restart their spearhead. But they accidentally shoot a civilian in Maryland, which prompts them to join the war. And they immediately capture this Virginian panhandle, or this Virginian exclave, sorry. They assist West Virginia. Virginia agrees to peace if it means they get to keep what they have. And ultimately, West Virginia and Maryland agree. So if we look at the peace treaty here, this was a humiliating loss for Virginia. Well, I forgot to fill in that border. Forgot to fill in that border more. You know what? Let's round out that border more. Straight lines, not the best. That looks better. Forgot about that pixel. So anyway, this is how the borders look right now, with Virginia being even smaller than before. This also does not affect their pact to rebuild Washington, D.C. However, Delaware has asked Maryland to join to form a union. To which Maryland agreed. Don't the borders look so much cleaner? Accidentally messed up the border with New Jersey. There we go. Yeah, don't the borders look so much cleaner? Let's look at every country here with some type of tensions. New York and New Jersey over Liberty Island. New York and the New England Pact, the Midwest Pact and the Midwest Alliance, the ATC and CSA versus Texas, Virginia, West Virginia, and Maryland. Yeah, Virginia has beef with West Virginia and Maryland over their humiliating defeat. Florida has been weirdly quiet. Kentucky has been weirdly quiet. So has Pennsylvania. I don't trust Utah. Idaho was gonna invade Oregon, but they're not that stupid. Yeah, they know what happens when you try to find an alliance by yourself. Montana and Wyoming have been quiet. Arizona's been quiet. Georgia's leaning toward the CSA. Hawaii's been strangely quiet over here. And all of these Western NATO members have only seen expansion in their alliance. It is now September 2025. The next war could break out at any moment. Oh, that green is. It looks nuclear. I gotta change that. There we go. And that is gonna be it for episode 2. I will see you in the next one.